I've noticed a new trend of people moving to Idaho from another red state, and it's not Florida that I just did a video on, and it's certainly not the West Coast states of California, Oregon, or Washington. So which state is that? It is actually the state of Texas. In fact, I recently found out that of the top 10 US cities that people are relocating to Idaho, Dallas, Texas is actually number 10. I myself had considered moving to Texas when I was looking to leave California, but I ultimately decided against Texas and moved to Idaho. So in this video, I'm diving into exactly why are people actually leaving the state of Texas, why they're looking at Texas and deciding to move to another state like Idaho, and we're covering the top 4 reasons. And number 4 is going to be the most costly and probably the most surprising for you. We're getting after that right now. The first reason up is going to be the lack of nature, how flat it is, and really just basically a concrete jungle many of these big Texas cities have become. Certainly there are areas of Texas that are more rural, more access to nature, but for the most part, if you're moving to a big city like Dallas, Texas, that has over 7 million people in the overall area of Dallas and the surrounding suburbs, is pretty much suburban sprawl, concrete jungle, and extremely busy freeways. So I visited myself a number of times with my family to check it out, and we had a great time visiting Texas. Super fun, bought my cowboy boots there, but we just realized it probably wasn't gonna be for us because we really wanted access to nature. In Idaho, you have access to the Boise foothills, you have the Boise River, and of course you have the mountains around here, beautiful flowing rivers, waterfalls all around, and easy access to all those things, even if you don't live in the mountains, if you live in the Boise and Treasure Valley area like where I live. And that's why we really love living here in this area as opposed to living in Texas. And that's why we chose this area. And that's what I'm finding when I'm talking with people that are looking to move here. That's really what they're looking for. They moved to Texas thinking they were probably gonna get all that, and they just were disappointed. Now, the second reason is gonna be related to all that urban sprawl and all that massive growth that Texas has experienced, because let's face it, there are still a lot of people moving to Texas. And that's gonna be what I referenced earlier, and that is the traffic. Texas, and specifically the big cities like Dallas, like Houston, there is just a ton of traffic. I mean, these freeways really are jam-packed, especially during rush hour. That was really surprising for me, and I think that's been surprising for people that have moved there and realizing that this big open country that Texas is kind of billed as, it just hasn't really come to fruition because there's so many people living in suburban sprawl in these big Texas communities. Now, by contrast, in Idaho, I certainly talk about the traffic here. I want people to be aware that there is growing traffic. Now, certainly on these 2-lane country roads, you've got stop signs and long traffic lights, there can be traffic and it can back up, and that can be really frustrating. So even here in Idaho, there is traffic. However, it's nothing compared to what I was used to in California, and certainly basically how Texas is becoming with heavy traffic. Now, if you can simply restructure your day a little bit and try to avoid some of those peak rush hours or maybe go opposite direction of traffic, then you're gonna be fine. But overall, the traffic here is certainly not as bad as Texas or California for sure, but we do have some traffic here in Idaho. So if you're expecting absolutely zero traffic when you're moving to Idaho, that's just not gonna be the case. But that is a reason why people are looking to Idaho as opposed to Texas and certainly California, because of the reduced amount of traffic that we have here. As compared to Texas or California, there is actually only one freeway that runs through the Boise and Treasure Valley area, and that is I-84. Again, during certain times of day, it can back up, but overall it flows quite well. The third reason why people are relocating from Texas to Idaho or just avoiding the state altogether is how hot and how humid Texas actually is. I think a lot of people think of Texas as just being a desert, but there's actually a lot of humidity there, of course, from the Gulf Coast coming up and creating a lot of humidity. So when people are moving to Texas and they actually live there, they're realizing, wow, this humidity is a lot higher than I was expecting. A lot of people are looking at other states like Tennessee, like Florida, and they're choosing Texas because of potentially lack of humidity, but it's actually rather humid. Boise, Idaho, by contrast, is actually high desert, and it is very, very dry, and there's very rarely any humidity. Just recently, we got the after effects of Hurricane Hillary that came through, and it's actually been a little bit more humid than certainly what we're used to up here in Idaho, but certainly nothing like what you would ever experience in another state like Texas or Florida. And really, it is just that heat and just how freaking hot it gets in Texas. Let's face it, it's super hot. That's actually why I chose not to move to a state like Arizona or Texas or Florida. It's just I didn't want to deal with that very high heat index that you get in these different states. And right before I get to that, I am a real estate agent here in the state of Idaho, specifically in the Boise and Treasure Valley area. If you're looking to make the move here in the next 9 days, 90 days, or even 2 years out from now, just give me a call, text, or email. I'd love to chat with you. We'll jump on a Zoom call and figure out if it's the right move for you to make, whether you're coming from California like I myself. I lived in San Diego my entire life, born and raised, third generation, and decided to make the move here to Idaho despite the amazing weather we have in San Diego and California. And I love helping people make that move just like what you're going through and make it just as stress-free as absolutely possible. So give me a call, text, or email, we'll chat. So point number number 4, and really the number one reason why people are leaving Texas for Idaho, is property taxes. The state of Texas has very high property taxes, usually at least around 3% of the sale price of your home, and people have been rather surprised by that and how expensive it truly is. Idaho, by contrast, effectively is about 1%, but then there is a homeowner's exemption of about $125,000 you can take off the price of your home. So oftentimes it ends up being right around 0.8% of the price of your home. So that's been a big shock factor for a lot of people, is the property taxes and how high they are, but also with that is homeowners insurance. In fact, Texas has the 5th highest homeowners insurance in the entire country. And so I actually have a friend there, they combine between property taxes and homeowners insurance are paying about $1,400 a month. I mean, that's almost a mortgage payment for a lot of people, at least a few years ago. So no matter what, even if you're paying cash in Texas, you're still gonna have those monthly payments baked into the cost of living down in Texas. Now, by contrast, homeowners insurance in Idaho is one of the cheapest. Technically, on average, it's about $100 a month across the board in the state of Idaho. I personally pay $586 in homeowners insurance for the entire year. That's for a new home, about 2,700 square feet. Very, very inexpensive, right around, I don't know, 40 something dollars a month. So a lot of people are experiencing some pretty significant cost savings by moving to Idaho, just in property taxes and homeowners insurance. Then we have other big cost saving things too, with energy prices. Electricity is so cheap here, gas is so cheap. In fact, I just got a notice from Intermountain Gas, our local utility for gas, of a 20% cost reduction for gas. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, that would never happen in California, and probably not in Texas either. I was absolutely shocked. Overall, I pay about $150 a month for combined gas and electric, and I run my AC or heater, depending on the time of year, basically 24/7. So these are the top reasons why people either choose not to move to Texas at all and choose another state like Idaho, or they're just flat out leaving Texas again for Idaho. If you're looking to make the move to Idaho, whether you're coming from California, Washington, Oregon, or Texas, or anywhere else, just give me a call. I'd love to chat with you. I help people all the time, just like you, make the move here. I made the move from San Diego. I moved my young family here for a better way of life, lower cost of living, and we absolutely love living here in Idaho. There's so many awesome things to do. It's so family friendly, and that's a big perk of Texas, is it's pretty family friendly. Idaho is as well. So put that on your list of places to potentially move to. Give me a call. If you are looking to make the move to Idaho and you want to explore more videos about moving here to Idaho, just check out this video right here. We dive in deeper about living here in Boise, Idaho. I'll see you on the next video.